Every year, millions of people go on fancy cruise ships for vacations, like honeymoons or family trips. But sadly, not everyone comes back home. More and more people are worried about how safe these ships are because some passengers disappear. In today's story, we'll talk about two cases of people who went missing on a cruise ship. Michael Carter, born October 3rd, 1978, was 26 years old when he vanished during his honeymoon in the summer of 2005. On June 25th, 2005, Michael married 25-year-old Emily Parker at a beautiful cliffside wedding in Newport, Rhode Island. His sister Lily called it a perfect fairy tale day. Michael was ready to take over his dad's store when he got back to the U.S. Emily had just finished a master's degree in teaching at a college in Rhode Island and was about to start a job teaching third graders after the summer. On June 29th, the couple got on a Royal Caribbean cruise ship called the Star of the Seas for a 2-week honeymoon. The trip would take them to cool places like Italy, Greece, and Turkey, starting from Barcelona, Spain. A few days into the cruise, they made new friends, mostly other couples. One new friend was a 20-year-old guy named Ethan Miller, who was on the trip with his family. Ethan met Michael and Emily while they were visiting Florence, Italy. On the night of July 5th, things went wrong. Cameras on the ship showed Michael and Emily going into the casino on the 3rd floor around midnight. Earlier that day, they had been in Greece and had dinner together, celebrating their new life. That casino video was the last time Michael was seen. In the casino, Michael drank a strong drink called absinthe, which someone had snuck onto the ship since it wasn't sold there. He was hanging out with Ethan and 3 other guys named Alex Gordon, Ryan Carter, and Zach Gordon. Meanwhile, Emily was getting friendly with a crew member. They were flirting, which made Michael mad. The two got into a fight, and Emily kicked Michael before storming out around 2:30 a.m. Ethan said the guys kept partying late into the night before they all went back to their rooms. Michael Carter noticed his wife, Emily, wasn't in their room, so he and his new friends, Ethan Miller, Alex Gordon, Ryan Carter, and Zach Gordon, went looking for her. When they couldn't find her, the group took Michael back to his cabin. Ethan said he stepped out to use the bathroom, and when he came back, the other guys had taken off Michael's shoes and put him to bed. This was just after 4 a.m. The 4 guys said they stayed in the room for a bit before going back to their own cabin, where they ordered a ton of food, so much that they took pictures of it and themselves eating. But a passenger named Deputy Sheriff Tom Wilson, who was staying next door, said that wasn't true. Tom called the ship's staff to complain about loud noises coming from Michael's room. He said it wasn't the first time he'd had to complain. Peeking through his door's peephole, Tom saw 3 guys leave Michael's room and walk down the hallway. He heard Michael telling people to leave before that. It's not clear who exactly Tom saw. Soon after, around 4:30 a.m., he heard a loud thud, like something heavy fell on the balcony, and it made his room shake. Around the same time, some crew members found Emily passed out in a hallway. She didn't remember much after leaving the casino. At 7:30 a.m., other passengers noticed a big blood stain on one of the ship's awnings and told the crew. Emily thought Michael was sleeping somewhere else and went to a spa appointment she'd booked for both of them. Later, the crew told her something was wrong, and they figured out Michael must have fallen off the ship somewhere between Greece and Turkey. At first, the ship's captain said it was just an accident, but Michael's family and people online weren't so sure. Investigators found small amounts of blood in Michael's cabin and treated the case like a possible murder. On July 29th, the FBI got involved. The story was all over TV shows like NBC, with some saying it might have been a robbery gone wrong. It even inspired a TV movie called Deadly Honeymoon in 2010. In 2012, the New York Post said the FBI's Mafia division took over the case, but no one knows why. That same year, the Carter family's lawyer, David Brown, got documents from the cruise company. These showed the 4 guys who took Michael to his room lied about ordering all that food. There was no record of it. Ethan Miller, the 20-year-old who became friends with Michael, also failed an FBI lie detector test. While being questioned by the Carter family's lawyer, David Brown, Ethan Miller used his right to stay silent under the Fifth Amendment. One of the Gordon cousins' FBI lie detector tests came back unclear, and the results for the other 2 guys are unknown. But Ethan's lawyer, Mark Taylor, said Ethan was with the other guys in a cabin far from Michael's when Michael disappeared. Mark also said Ethan passed a lie detector test early in the investigation. Lie detector tests, though, aren't always trustworthy. Mark claimed the FBI had photos of the guys with their food, taken early on July 5th, and the timestamps on those photos proved they were in their cabin when Michael went missing. 7 years later, in 2012, David Brown found out about a video made by some of the guys just hours after Michael vanished. In the video, the three Gordon cousins, Alex, Ryan, and Zach, made cruel jokes about Michael's death, saying things like, "We gave that guy a paragliding lesson without a parachute." Alex added, "I told you I was tough." The Carter family didn't know about this video until 2012, but the FBI had it since 2005. Things got worse. 3 days after Michael disappeared, the crews kicked out the Gordon cousins and their families. A 20-year-old woman said Ryan Gordon and the cousins attacked her, and Ethan Miller was there for part of it. The attack was filmed on Ryan's camera. Emily was questioned by authorities in Turkey and decided to leave the cruise and fly home. The Carter family was upset with her for how she acted after Michael vanished. They didn't like that she took $1.1 million from the cruise company and said she thought Michael died in an accident because he was drunk. In 2009, Emily got remarried and had 2 kids, but a 2015 Daily Mail article said she changed her mind and now believes Michael was murdered. Even with all these suspicious things, the FBI stopped investigating the case in 2015. Michael's body was never found, and no one was ever charged. Anna Chen, a 36-year-old woman who often went by Anna, boarded the MSC Magnifica cruise ship in February 2017 for a 10-day trip around the Mediterranean with her husband James Lee and their 2 kids, ages 4 and 6. The Lee family left for their trip on February 9, 2017, but when the MSC Magnifica cruise ship returned to Italy on February 19, only 3 of the 4 family members got off. James Lee and his 2 kids, ages 4 and 6, were about to catch a flight back to their home in Dublin, Ireland, when Italian police stopped them and took James, a 46-year-old IT consultant, into custody. The kids' grandparents, who lived in Germany, came to pick them up. The ship's crew noticed someone was missing because of their security system. They saw that one fewer person went through the ship's exit gate and figured out it was someone from James and Anna's family. They told the police right away. James became the main suspect because he didn't tell anyone his wife Anna was missing. He didn't seem worried or raise any alarm about her being gone. He also gave the police confusing stories. James told the police he last saw Anna after the ship stopped at a port in Greece. He said he took the kids on a trip off the ship, and when they came back, Anna was gone. He claimed Anna was unhappy and wanted to leave the cruise. He said she often disappeared during family trips, so he thought she was hiding somewhere on the ship or had gone back to Dublin. When she didn't show up in Italy, he guessed she might have left their marriage for good and gone back to her home country, China, something she had talked about doing before. Crew members last saw Anna on February 10th, the second day of the cruise. They noticed a strange moment in the ship's gift shop. James stormed in, pulled a pair of sneakers from his backpack, and told Anna, "Put these on instead of your sandals and be quiet." Witnesses said Anna looked upset after this, and no one on the crew saw her again. She wasn't at meals, and James and the kids ate alone. James told the ship's maid they didn't need the extra fold-out bed in their room because only 3 people were sleeping there now, and they would share the main bed. There's confusion about Anna's things. Some reports said her phone, passport, and suitcase were missing, but others said she left them behind. James had packed her stuff, planning to take it back to Dublin. At one point, he changed his story and said Anna got off the ship in Greece to meet with Chinese business contacts. Anna was a wedding planner who started her own company, Cinderella's Weddings, in 2015.